No, let me unmute you. Okay. I sent you an unmute. Okay, there you go.
Right.
So just say your name and put up your.
Yeah, I'm Marilla Arguelles.
Well, wait, it's backwards. So is that mean you're going to talk backwards? So thanks for joining us, Marilla. Okay, do it again.
Okay, I'm Marilla Arguelles.
Okay. All right. So what's the secret sauce we're talking about today?
Well, I have a huge project because I want to bring together all the thinkers that I know who are influential to try to revise high school education, because I think we're really underestimating and frustrating our teens.
Ooh, okay. This will be an interesting conversation. Okay, here we go. Wait a minute. How do I pronounce your last name again? Arguelles?
Arguelles.
Arguelles. Okay. Okay. See, because it's funny. Okay, here we go. Welcome to the Really Useful Show. You are in for a treat today. I'm your host, Ken Krell, and today I have with us Marilla Arguelles, and I even got your name pronounced right. Yay. This is going to be a serious episode because it's really about education and changing the way we learn, which is something I have a great passion about because my mom taught me all about education. She was a teacher, and now we continue to teach even with our own Really Useful Show. Marilla, welcome to the show today. How you doing?
Hi, I'm glad to be here.
So tell us what your big passion is and what you're working on right now that has gotten me so excited.
Well, I thought I was focused on the guidebook that I'm writing for teens called How to Matter Now, because I think it's very insulting that we tell our teens, well, you sit over there and behind this desk for 8 years and you go into high tech and maybe you'll be useful someday, and then we'll listen to you if you show that you can be a leader in your field. So it's very competitive and it's very restrictive and it's very unimaginative. So in doing that, I want to bring together the most stimulating people that I know who can support teens in really exploring what's most useful and most fun at the same time where the world is in its biggest crisis ever.
So how do we do that? I mean, how do you make that difference?
Well, I think we could restructure it by having paid internships in several areas. There's a very good program that does this at the Parsons School of Design, which is merged with the New School of Social Research, amazingly enough, in New York. And there's a young woman who's making a huge company for herself, designing clothing. And we've all heard about, having a workshop of limited items so they can be more useful. Well, she has found a way to support refugees by creating a garment that is a coat, but it's a sleeping bag, it's a flotation device, it's a tent. I mean, just the fact that anybody could even conceive of doing this is mind-boggling to me.
That's incredible.
There's another example of someone called the sous chef, SIOUX, who comes from the Midwest, and he's very concerned with raising the level of knowledge about how valuable ethnic foods, native foods were. So he has this pop-up business that goes around the country and brings in people with big bucks because it's expensive. You pay $26 for tea and a few little snackies. But he uses that for educational programs.
You're having me think about this, and I would love to talk with you actually after the show's over about how this might be expanded on a national level in the US, maybe even a global level. Because my belief, and I'm going to get on my soapbox here for a second since it is my show, and talk about the fact that my belief is that the future of our planet is the kids. Us as adults, not a lot we can do. I mean, our attitudes, you can see it in the US, and people that have their opinions on whatever, they're not going to change their opinions. We see that globally. But kids, still malleable. Kids can still shift and they're open and they want to learn. And I think that's the future of our planet, to save our planet, frankly. So would you be open to having a conversation after this is over to kind of explore some things we could collaborate on?
Sure, because I'm very concerned. As I said, I have 2 teenage grandsons. I'm not allowed to talk to them about the things that I know that their parents would rather I didn't share. And one of them is about sexuality. I think teens are very interested in sexuality, and I think it's absolutely abysmal what's happening with them because they're being targeted by the hardcore porn industry. And I don't want anybody calling it adult films. I think we're complicit when we do that. This stuff is poisonous, and it's one of the biggest industries in the world, and it's very predatory. And I think that teens deserve to know about erotica. It's completely missing, and a lot of them are recreating on the weekends, going to hookups, and it's not passion exchange. It's not even love. It's the number of hits that you get. And so we really need to be addressing them in a way that's respectful and tactful. I want them to know that, you know, this isn't the first generation that's dealt with things. I have a guide. It's more like a handbook where it goes into 10 wildly passionate women who changed history. And one of them, for instance, was Veronica Franco, who saved Venice from the Turks, even though she'd been brought up for the Inquisition twice. But so many of the guys on the panel were her clients. She was a prostitute. And so she ended up being one of the leading intellectuals in the country. And nobody, you know, who's telling kids about that? So it's fun to do. But I also want them to feel that they are more worthy of respect.
You know, you've got me speechless at the moment, which is rare, as my listeners know. Can we get access to that, or is there a way that we can learn more about what you know?
Yeah. Well, I'm doing this because I'm the world's oldest and luckiest teenager. So I feel like, you know, I need to get the message out. I'm 78 and I don't have a lot of time. So I really want, you know, to get the ball rolling. And so I would love to work with anybody on the panel who's concerned about this. I know that Madeline and I are both writing guides for teens, and I think it's important not to cringe at some of the things that they're not being taught, but also to address the things that they are and reforming them.
Awesome. So let's do this. If you can get that to me, we'll pop it into the show notes. So you guys go to reallyusefulshow.com and we'll find the episode with Marilla in it. I do want to say one last thing before we go, because if I didn't say it, I would be irresponsible, because you're about to be spanked with love. And that is, don't ever, ever, ever say you have limited time left, especially at the young age of 78, because I just happen to have somebody listening in right now who's just a wee bit older, or shall I say younger than you, who is even more of a teenager than you, more of a child than you, and she will spank the heck out of you and tell you that you're absolutely out of line with that comment. Am I right, Mom? Well, you're muted. There you go.
Okay, I unmuted. If you don't do it now, you ain't gonna do it. Today is the best day of your life. Do what you need to do, because anything and everything can happen tomorrow. Yeah. Leave your mark now, not only on
talk to the hand, Mom. Talk to the hand. That's it.
I'm sorry. No, the important thing is it's people, it's ideas, it's the future that we have to worry about, but we have to do all of that today. And yeah, it may be corny, but they're all saying that the word today is the 4-letter word love. But there's so many different ways of expressing it. And with the education, that's a key. And let's just keep doing it and finding new ways to show that there is love.
I would say that's pretty useful. So Marilla, you've been lovingly spanked by my mom in an unexpected cameo in today's Really Useful Show. Mom and Marilla, thanks for joining us. We'll have stuff in the show notes for you guys. You guys are amazing. I love you. We'll talk soon.
Great.
Okay, now, you know, we go and we roll with it. If you say stuff like that, I'm going to call you on it. So good. Was that good for you?
You're talking to me?
No, I'm talking to Marilla.
Oh, I'm sorry, Marilla. It's your time.
She's a paying customer. You get in for free. A paying client, that is. So Marilla, you want to do a testimonial?
Yeah, I will.
Okay.
I am so happy that I found this podcast. I've taken a bunch of courses on podcasting, and I've never had one that was a big party. I mean, this is the most delightful webinar that I've ever been in. Ken's guided us into making all these friendships just effortlessly, and it's wonderful. Most shows are just telling you how to get booked or how to find the best number or make your revenue. That's not what this is about. This is speaking to our hearts and our missions, and so I'm really impressed.
Thank you. Thank you.